Hi, welcome to another episode on Eat, Move, Be Healthy. I'm Rochelle Butler, and today I have with me a good friend of mine, Marcelle, and a good friend to the program, Marcelle Crinean. In this series, I've been looking at health and fitness goals, where weight loss tends, to be honest, to be the main reason often people get into or are focusing on in their health and fitness goals, particularly around this time of year. So I've brought Marcelle in to explain to us and talk to us about a recent program she's launched, an online program called the Weight Buster, where you lose weight while you sleep. So stick with us to find out about Marcelle, how it works, what the science behind it, and why I've recommended it and included it in the health and fitness programs for clients of mine, and in fact how it's worked for me. Let's start with this. Right, you've created the Weight Buster program.
Yeah.
On weightbuster.com is the website. It's an online program, but what is it exactly?
Essentially, it's a holistic mind-body management program.
Okay.
Because most people who want to lose weight look at diet and exercise, which you know,
yeah,
and
sure.
I know, super important, but it's only half the equation.
Correct.
Mind is kind of the other half of the equation. A lot of people know what they should be eating.
Sure.
They know how much exercise they should be doing, but for whatever reason, they don't do it.
It doesn't make the switch.
And so half of the equation is the mind part.
Yeah.
And so my program is really all about helping with that aspect of weight loss.
Okay. And so then, well, how does that work? How are you delivering that, especially on an online thing? How are you delivering that program?
Okay, so in terms of delivery, you go to the website, so to weightbuster.com, as you said, and first off, you download a free report, which...
Quite comprehensive, that report.
Good.
I read it. Did my homework. Yeah.
Which is really all around how our mind turns our body, or can turn our body, into a fat storing machine rather than a fat burning machine.
Yeah.
So kind of my analogy is, imagine that you ran a power plant and you had 200 tons of coal a day coming in, so that's kind of energy in, and you need to burn 200 tons of coal a day, but you don't want to burn all of it just in case your delivery is late tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you don't want to burn too little of it and be left with a supply.
Yeah.
And our body's the same. We kind of get energy in from food, and we then use up that energy as our output, but at some point our body has to make a decision about how much of that energy to burn and how much to store as fat. So we think of, or most people think of calories in, calories out as, food in, energy out through exercise, or just through, sitting and general body stuff. But actually there are some triggers, things like chronic stress, things like trauma, which could be emotional trauma or physical trauma, chronic dieting. There's a whole pile of things, which I'll talk about in a second when I talk about the program. But all of those cause our body to turn into fat storing machine. Our body, instead of burning calories, will store them. And
in fact, that's what a lot of diet and exercise programs, why one works for you and one doesn't work for me, is because of that individual differentiation, right? The way, and there's other elements that come into that, the genetics, but one of the approaches is the one you've chosen to use.
And I've chosen to use it because, I'm an eating psychology coach. I've worked with hundreds of men and women on losing weight, things like disordered eating, binge eating, emotional eating, and underlying that is usually something.
Exactly.
It's not about the food and the exercise. There's something else going on. You do. So you download the report, you read the report to kind of see what underlying triggers you might have. And then you go on, if you want to purchase the program. Or the first step of the program. So the first step of the program is hypnotherapy audio file. So think, kind of Paul McKenna, you can get thin, or whatever it's called. That's very generic.
Yeah.
It's one CD and it's one size fits all. But here's the thing, we're not all the same.
Yeah.
So you purchase something. But before you get your audio file, you have to complete a 66-question psychological questionnaire that I've created based on a number of underlying triggers.
Because even when I was answering those questions, I was thinking, oh, I don't know, do I?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Got really thinking. But that's very comprehensive.
So it's a 66 question questionnaire that I've developed, that no one else has it, based on everything I've learned over the last 12 years of working with people who struggle to lose weight. And I've identified a number of underlying triggers that I know are the major triggers. And they're things that I've mentioned. So chronic stress is one. Not sleeping properly can be another one. That really can affect our weight. Physical or emotional trauma. You know, sometimes people gain weight as a protection mechanism. It could be just be complete mindless eating. You know, people who are not eating mindfully. There's a number of these triggers, and so you answer the questionnaire, and based on your answers, which are scored in real time. And I don't save those answers. So I don't want anyone thinking that I'm suddenly like I'm scoring everything. It's not that. It scores in real time, and then we'll select an audio file that is designed specifically to your trigger. And you then have access to a member area where you can either listen to the audio file that's been selected for you directly from there, or you can download it onto your phone or your PC. And then along with that, currently, you then get a program of, right now it's emails, but in a couple of weeks that's going to convert to a set of videos. So you'll get a video, 30 videos, you can watch one a day, that's a program that goes along with the audio file, so that you can maximize your chances of making that as effective as possible. Because you listen to it at night, that's great. But I also want to give you some strategies that go along with that. So the two things combine.
Because I mean, currently I've just been receiving the emails, and even those are quite supportive. But even you get little extra things there, on little tips on perhaps how to manage your sugar cravings in real time, day to day, things like that. But the audio file, you listen to it at night. I mean, I listen to it at night just through my headphones, and it's designed to do at least 21 days. I mean, obviously, I'll continue to do it, but is there a set time necessarily for you to listen to the audio every night?
Yeah, so there isn't. I think a lot of people believe that there's some kind of magic formula for how long it takes to develop a new habit. And there isn't.
No.
It's nonsense, the whole, 21 days or 30 days to reprogram your mind. But 21 days is the minimum, really, that you need to start to develop a new habit. There'll be more emails after the 21 days. But I think to start with, whenever you try to develop a new habit.
But look, it's the same with a diet or exercise program. You've got to give it a few weeks just to start to get a hint or an inkling of how it is going to work for you.
Exactly.
I have to say, I noticed a little bit of a change in my behavior just after a few days. I mean, instantly, I had the best night's sleep ever. Ever. Good. Really good night's sleep.
Nice.
Perhaps that was one of my triggers, I don't know. But instantly, there were a couple of things there I thought it would be difficult for me because I knew you. So it's your voice, and I thought, because I knew, but that didn't. The other thing that I noticed was, like I say, after 3 or 4 days, I started noticing a real change. And one of my triggers, of course, is just mindless eating, sugar sort of control.
Well, you have that lifestyle, right? Because you have to grab food when you can between clients. Same for me. And it's easy to be distracted by the phone or
so just grab the easiest thing to eat, and normally that's something packaged and what you shouldn't really eat. But I noticed already a change in my control for that. I so much so that I did see myself go, no, actually, I'll wait till I get home, which and I know previously I would have just had it and then gone, should have waited till I got home. Like I say, sleep instantly, much deeper, much better sleep. Did it every night for about 5 nights. Then I think I missed a night because it was over the weekend and my phone was downstairs or whatever. Noticed actually with my night's sleep that I'd missed it. So perhaps that was one of my more pronounced triggers, but I do feel like it, the other thing I noticed with the audio file is that, because how many minutes is it? It's about
30. Well, they're all slightly different, actually.
Okay. So mine, I know,
on average about half an hour. On average.
So I don't always make it to the end, which I know you said not a problem.
Not at all.
What's interesting is, you think by now I'd be sort of saying the audio file with you, but ironically, I hear something new almost every time I hear it. I think, did she say that last time? So what's at play here? Is it the power of suggestion? I mean, I know in a real crude form, people have this idea of, hypnotherapy being this, all right, you're under my spell, act like a chicken, flap your arms.
No, it isn't.
It's nothing like that. I mean,
No.
I can tell you the audio is nothing but positive words, encouragement. That's all it is. There's no secret.
So I'm what's called a solution-focused hypnotherapist, and it's slightly different from traditional hypnotherapy in that I don't use direct suggestion. So people think of hypnotherapy as, you're not going to crave chocolates anymore. It's not that.
When I click my fingers, you're no longer.
No, it's not that. It's actually a relaxation technique.
Okay.
So that you get access to the part of your brain that is more intellectually in control.
Okay.
So rather than the part of your brain which is more associated with emotions, which tends to kind of drive the eating.
Yeah.
What we really want is your intellectual brain in control, going, yeah, I'd love the donuts, but actually I'm going to have the salad because I really want to fit into those jeans, or whatever it might be.
Whatever it is.
So it's more about doing what we know is going to move us towards our goals than away from our goals.
And I noticed in the audio file that your words they're just nice, encouraging words, but they're not patronizing in any way. There's nothing. You're also not dictating what it is. So you'll use things like picture the ideal body for you.
Exactly.
You don't go picture being a size 10 or, you just go the ideal body for you because, again, like we've discussed, that's different for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's just positive encouragement. And
that's why I don't use direct suggestion, because I don't know what you want. Only you know what you want.
Exactly.
So the whole idea of the audio is for you to really think about what you want.
Yeah.
And what habits you want to create, and how you're going to manage to create those habits, and how you're going to keep them.
Yeah.
So it's all about you.
Yeah.
It's your mind working with you. There's no point in me giving you direct suggestions if a part of your brain doesn't agree with the suggestion I'm making.
No, exactly.
It's just going to push,
resistance,
and then it's not going to work.
So
none of it is direct suggestion.
And to be fair, I have no idea what the different triggers that have come out. But I'm just looking at my own.
Yeah.
I know from some of the questions, there were some questions about how you feel about your body. So obviously that has some sort of push towards body image issues or how you feel about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I know that mine must have come out with regards, because I can see from the audio file and just how I've approached things, is that what your audio file is trying to do, bring me to, which obviously came up, is just bring my head into when I'm eating. Okay. So maybe perhaps a bit of mindfulness, because so what's happening is I can see is that I'm thinking before I just grab, and as a result, the habit, now this isn't coming from your audio file, but that thought pattern has triggered a behavior. So I've been much better about planning, packing my lunches, thinking about, remember you're going to be at the studio the whole day, you're not going to be able to get out, you better take some snacks.
Nice.
And it's not to say I wasn't doing that before, but I wasn't doing it as regularly.
Yeah, and actually, at no point in your audio file do I tell you.
No, you never say, Rochelle, plan, or make sure you plan.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. So what you've touched on, which has affected whatever my trigger was, which is clearly mindlessness. So you've picked on the thing of, Rochelle, engage with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And off the back of that, my behavior has changed and improved. So
exactly right. So at no point do I tell you to. So you have, by relaxing and getting access to the intellectual part of your brain, figured out your own solution to the problem you were having.
Yeah.
Now somebody else, so let's say somebody else has the same trigger as you, they might figure out that for them, they switch the TV off when they eat. That might be their solution.
But again, you wouldn't know that, and it doesn't matter because they need to come up. It's more powerful if they come up with them by themselves.
Because then it's sustainable, and that's everything I do is really about
empowering. This is why we are your friends.
But yes, it's about you taking back control of your eating in the way that you can.
Yes.
And it's a little bit like when people come to you for diet or exercise. You're never going to give them a program that they can't do.
No, there's no point.
There's no point because they're not going to do it, right? It's always that question of what's the best diet for me? Well, the one that you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same in terms of using kind of this more indirect suggestion, just positive language, helping you relax.
And I think that's what takes the stress out of it. And even if you consider a diet regime which is super strict, or you have to have this and you can only have, well, the reason why I struggle with that is because it ends up becoming too prescriptive and telling you how you should do it, and then automatically the walls go up. You know, you may play along for a while or till you get to the size dress, drop the dress size, but then you just go, you know what, actually I don't like living like that.
Exactly, who does, right? And so in fact you've touched on one of the other triggers. So the kind of the should do's, that kind of restriction that we place on ourselves artificially, that's also one of those underlying triggers. Our kind of our thought process can really affect the choices that we make. Because as long as you think that you shouldn't do something, the little 5-year-old part of your brain goes, but I really want it. And eventually the rebellious child will come out. You can't trap the 5-year-old child in a cell forever. Eventually it's going to rattle that cage and burst out. So again, there's nothing in the audio file that tells you that you can't have something. In fact, I think it pretty much encourages you to choose what you want, but just really think about what you want. Now that's kind of the underlying message, really.
And what's nice about that then is, and this is what I've seen how it works with myself, but also as clients that have used it in their health and fitness programs, is that then alongside exercise and a sort of, I don't want to say a diet regime, but because I give a little bit of prescription, but not necessarily a strict diet, but that then helps you work with that. You know,
but it's holistic. And that's kind of the point.
Exactly it. It's not to say no exercise, no diet, don't worry, only do this. Having said that, I think you would be drawn to being more disciplined about your diet and exercise if you did the program. Do you know what I mean? You suddenly you look for structure.
You start making different choices. The more you deal with the underlying trigger that you have, the more the symptom of the weight, because remember, weight is a symptom. It's never the cause. It's a symptom of something. It's a symptom of your body having chosen,
I can't
for whatever reason,
what's happening
to store
inside
rather than burn fat. As long as you deal with that underlying trigger, the weight kind of comes off anyway. You don't need to worry about the weight. You're just working on the underlying trigger. And once you've dealt with the underlying cause, well then you're not going to put the weight back on. But if you do it artificially through restriction, the weight loss will always be temporary.
Temporary. I was going to say that. Of course it's going to work, but it's not going to last.
Yes, it's not going to last.
So the other great thing about it, it's an online program, but there's so much support. I know after the audio files, you then have if people so wish to then take it further. And the audio file is yours to keep forever, right? So
it's yours to keep forever. There's this 30-day video program coming out in the next 2 weeks as well, which will support anybody that wants a bit of additional support. A 12-week online program, so that's way more comprehensive. Because whilst the audio file is it is targeting your main underlying trigger, but actually every audio file is also bringing in elements of all the triggers, because we never just have one.
No, of course not.
So it's pulling in whatever it is, however you've answered your questionnaire, it's pulling in aspects of all of those things. But sometimes we kind of need a more comprehensive program. So as I say, I work as an eating psychology coach, so I generally work one-on-one with people, but some people can't afford that. They don't want to, they can't afford to kind of do the hourly coaching. So the 12-week online program is a much more cost-effective way of getting a lot of my knowledge. It's not tailored to you specifically, but it's across the board. It's really about how to change the way you think, because how we think changes how we feel, and how we feel is kind of what drives us to eat. So it deals with stress, it deals with sleep, it deals with how to change how we think, it deals with how to become more aware of messages from childhood which are still impacting us today and affecting the decisions we make. How to be more mindful. So kind of across the board, it's a lot of information. So each week you get a video with some journaling and that you can do, some handouts, some notes, and just kind of a new habit to start including in your day-to-day life. So it goes along with the audio file. The audio file is definitely the
base
start.
For everything.
And I would, to be honest, just keep listening to it. I wouldn't stop after 21 days. There's no need to, because it's actually also designed to help you sleep. It's a relaxation file, so we all need to sleep better. It's going to help with quality of sleep, whatever. So it kind of goes hand in hand with the audio. And then anybody who does want to work with me one-to-one, I do have a limited number of spaces a week. But I do also work with
which is also
one-to-one.
online, but I mean it's video conferencing, so it's live, but it's video conferencing. Correct. So you can be wherever.
Like a weekly coaching call,
And the other thing though, even already from the start with the, once you've purchased the audio file, you're invited to join the Facebook group.
Yes.
So that's quite useful. There's some support there if you need.
Absolutely.
And the big question, I guess, would say, we kind of answered this, how long before you see results? I mean, I saw a change already in my behaviour within 5 days.
Well, you should do. So I think as part of the emails that you get, I will be encouraging you after the second or third day to start noticing the changes that you're seeing. And you won't necessarily see a change on the scales. It's noticing changes like improved sleep, like, did you make a different choice about something? You know, did you say no to the second biscuit or the 5th glass of wine? It's about noticing the changes and understanding that the file, certainly the audio, is working on your underlying triggers first. So the more you can notice the changes, the more you know it's working. And the more it works, you will see the weight come off.
So this program doesn't work on the willpower. It's just making you be a bit more reasonable and bringing in the rational mind. Really.
So I call it want power.
Okay.
So willpower is essentially us trying to take power over our will. Our will wants the chocolate and we're trying to rein it in. It doesn't work, not long term. So I tap into what I call want power. Because if you know that, well, what I know about me is if I really want something, I'm going to get it. Like nothing is going to stop me from having what I want, right? And I think we're all the same. So it's at the moment of decision, because the audio file is helping you tap into what it is you actually want. So let's say you choose what you want is to feel better in your clothes, to be able to run around with your kids more, to stay living longer, whatever it might be, okay? Some kind of reasons that you've got for wanting to lose weight or wanting to stop eating sugar. At the moment that you make the decision whether to have a chocolate or not, your mind is kind of going, okay, you want the chocolate, but you want to fit into the jeans as well. Which one do you want more? And you make an intellectual decision at that point about what it is that you really want. And sometimes you might want the chocolate, and that's okay. But make that decision from a conscious decisioning place, not from a subconscious habit place. And that's the only difference.
Because I mean, let's be clear, I have still eaten chocolate, I have still eaten sugar, but every time I've done that, it's not followed then by that, oh my God, you know, I really need to cut back. Because it's far more controlled. And grown up in a bizarre way. It's a kind of grown up because it's your grown up brain.
Exactly right. And actually, it's what we call, or what I call, that adult brain. So we kind of have, well, I'm not going to bore you stupid with it, but we kind of have parent voices, we have child voices, and we have the adult voice. And the parent and child, once the parent and child, you can't have it, but I really want it. You shouldn't have it, but I really want it. The kind of, the parental wagging finger, and the child going, I'm going to have what I like. Once you get into those voices, you've lost the battle. You're going to have the chocolate and probably more. When the adult is in control, the adult kind of goes, I get that you want it, but what do you want more? And when you can tap into that voice, the true kind of adult want power voice, then you have control over your decision.
So then that leads us into because the other thing you say there is sort of a big warning right at the bottom is this program is not for everyone.
No, it isn't.
And I think that's quite important about any diet, exercise, weight loss, any sort of program is nothing is for everybody. So the information I have to say, and it's not just because you're a good friend, is honest. It is what it is. It's out there. You've spoken about now. You've said nothing different than what's on the website. Decide if that's something that you want to work with. Don't do it because, oh, well, she said she was going to work. If it doesn't gel, you don't get anything, then don't do it. So
I kind of want to work with, I think, so for anybody who wants to make a change, they don't necessarily need to know how to do it.
They don't have to know
They
how.
just have to want to.
Sure.
So if you want to lose weight but you don't want to make any changes at all in your life, it's kind of not going to work.
Yeah.
Right? But if you want to lose weight and you are realistic in the fact that that means some things are going to change, even if you don't know how to change them, then it can't fail to work.
No.
Because you will, as we've already said, worst case, you're going to sleep.
You're going to sleep well. Okay. And actually that's going to improve your health. So you're already
exactly
in.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So weightbuster.com, and you can obviously anywhere in the world because it's just downloadable.
Yes, but it's the weightbuster.com.
The weightbuster.
Yeah.
The weightbuster.com. I'll put it up. So have a go and let us know. Leave a comment below. Let us know how you got on with it, and any improvements that you've made. Let us know.